Well, salutations, magic nerds. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Welcome back to another live stream session from Trick Supply, your Las Vegas full stock magic shop. Full stock is a underestimate. We have everything you need plus two. They've even got one of these. Look at this beautiful thing. Foreshadowing our finale number today, the Bitfrost Blade. I pulled this piece off the shelf from the fine producers over at the Retro Rocketeers this week. Let me tell you, this thing, the word I think is obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with this. I know many of you are thinking maybe at this point, some of the super nerds might be aware of the classic Crystal Cleaver from Tenyo. It's a classic. That is not that. Same kind of effect, but totally different workings. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I've got a bag of mystery, and I got a stack of new books. And that thing. We'll talk about that as well. We're going to get started with the good stuff, but first we'll challenge your intellect and see if anyone might have a guess as to what is inside the card bag of mystery. And just by the way, when I talk like that, it is dramatic emphasis. So if you could just ooh and ah at home, play along, we'll all be magic nerds together. Let's say hi to the kindred spirits before we get the show rolling. What's up, Adonis? Finally made it on time. Creepy Pasta's in the house. What's up? Good to see you as well. Jake made it to a Trick Supply stream. What's going on? And Ron Walker's in the house. Long time no see, bro. And yes, indeed, the books are the stuff. I know everyone likes the tricks, but we all know the real work, the real secrets are in the books. Future of Magic, how you doing? Feeling good today. And Craig Campbell, ooh la la. Who's got a guess? Who can you guess what's in the... Anybody? If you get it right, you get bonus points, and then you can accumulate the bonus points for Koopy dolls in the super prize round. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, this is a good one. I didn't even figure that this would be in here. If you guessed Card Castle, well, it's a pretty good guess. If your guess was that a miniature card castle was in this bag, congratulations. It's not an Amar DVD. I guess that could be a deck of cards. It could even be a force deck if you want it to be. If you force the king of what is that? The king of... God, I'm going blind. Sadly though, if your answer was a card castle, that's not actually correct. However, if your guess was 2 card castles, well, give yourself a bonus point, put a little check mark on the tally, and let me semi-congratulate you for a good answer. Not a great answer, just a pretty good answer, because the answer is actually not 2 card castles. That's right. The answer is 3 card castles. So if your guess today was 3 magic playing card castles from a small paper bag, you are today's winner. Go to the head of the class and thank you for playing along. Oh man. That's right. I am the Uber magic nerd. And these are going home with me. I mean, for the low price of $20, how can they not? Let me give a commercial for this product. This is the Empire 3 appearing card castles. And yeah, that's right. Like $19 if you want to make 3 card castles appear from a paper bag. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but if it's for you, I got you. That's right. That's 1 for each cat. Scott knows. 2 wouldn't have been enough. 2 would have just been silly. All right. We put back the fine wares. Y'all know I get a little clumsy sometimes. All right, what else are we going to talk about today besides the books? We are going to get through this pile of books relatively quickly, as I don't know a whole lot about them. They are brand new books that I haven't got to dig into yet. I'll be fixing that soon, because guess what? I'm getting all of these. But I do want to point out some of the other things we're going to talk about today. I have the new Firefly gimmick from Titanus, produced by Murphy's. This is a hot new product. It's a good one, and we'll talk about that momentarily. Also, a wonderful trick you can use with this. That's really the newest thing that's going into my repertoire in many moons, as far as like a close-up piece goes. I'll tell you what that is. And yeah, we'll also talk about Tongue Tied, which is Mario Lopez's new release. All right, let's take a look here at the stack, see what's piled up here. On the top of the stack is a book that has been published before, but this is the re-release of what was Vanishing Inks. I think it was their first big book. I don't know if it was their first one. Their first one might have been High Spots by Caleb Wiles, but this is the John Allen compilation Experience. Man, there's some juicy material in here. John Allen is a award-winning magician. He got first place at the IBM Awards, and also he's got an award from the Magic Castle. This has his competition act in it, as well as a host of close-up, stand-up, parlor routines. I bookmarked one here that I wanted to learn. I just happened to be flipping through this morning. The helicopter rubber band. This is a flourish I've seen a few of my kindred spirits do on social medias and such. You have a rubber band between your two fingers, and boom, it just starts spinning around the top one and works its way down. I don't think you can go wrong with this book. If you want a book that's full of good professional, style, award-winning magic, that's Experience by John Allen. It is available at tricksupply.com. All right, the chat's distracting me. Next on the list, hot volume number 2, Absolute Madness. This is Craig Petty's new book, again from the Penguin Magic Publishing House, and I think you can expect another book chock full of professional working routines. If y'all know Craig Petty, you know his mind is just a non-stop magic machine. And I would expect that he pulled some of his cherry routines that he uses in his real world work for your consideration. This is Absolute Madness by Craig Petty. It's available for you now at tricksupply.com. And hey, if you live in Las Vegas, I'm going to suggest this. Get your butt down here and look at the bookshelf. I mean, I'm showing you a few things that we got on the shelf, but man, there's hundreds more. And then, if you come in and you talk to me a little bit, maybe I could help you find some volumes that you're, interested in making your life a little better. I'm here to help. Let me help you, please. So I'm gonna rewind before we talk about the last volume on this stack, and we're going back to like the 90s when I read this book. Even before that, I was into this book, and this next gentleman has routines amongst other ones. Y'all have heard me talk about this book before. If you haven't got the clue that coin magic from Kaufman's a killer, I'm cluing you in right now. Look who I'm pointing at over here. Jeffrey Lotta. There's a few things in here by Jeff Lotta, including a killer. I think the kids call it a banger. Copper, silver, brass routine, which avoids the standard gaff for this style of effect. Also in here, Kaufman describes Lotta's handling for the Hang Ping Chin move. This is where I really got the hot stuff going for that technique. Anyway, Jeff Lotta, that's where I first heard about him. A few years later, I would get the next book that was on this stack, and here we're looking at Spectacle, and this is a compilation by Stephen Minch. There's a lot of magicians in here. Take a look at all those names. You'll recognize a few: David Regal, Solomon, Falanga, Rudy Kobe, Jonathan Pendragon, Paul Cummins. Man, there's a lot of stuff in here, including some work by Jeff Lotta. And in this book, we would learn about some of Jeff's card handling. He has a great routine, deadlier than the mail. Also in this book is From an Elfin Hoard, Jeff's triple coin vanish and reproduction. If you have Spectacle, crack it open and look at the Jeff Lotta material. Or just do this. Consider buying the new. That's right, it's out. Many of us have waited decades for this release. you could consider just buying the new volume, 52 Farewells, Jeff Latta. This is a book by Stephen Minch and Stephen Hobbs. The book has a nice video edition where you get to see Jeff Latta perform some of these classic routines. Maybe I'll see if I won't expose that, but I do want to show you how like this book captured my attention right off the bat. When you get to the material, which might be a little bit further down, look at the first item in the card section. That's right. It's the pinky count. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I'm here to tell you that learning the pinky count will make you just a better magician in general. But if you like card magic and want your audience to have a better experience, get busy counting cards off the tip of your finger. If you want some practice tips, there's some good ones in this book, as well as 51 other pieces of professional card advice. It's my favorite author in magic, Stephen Minch, and one of the most refined sleight of hand technicians to ever walk the planet. We have copies of it here waiting on you now at Trick Supply. Consider 52 Farewells, the card magic of Jeff Latta. If you happen to have slept on his coin book, The Long Goodbye, you could also put that on your radar. That's the book that contains all of his coin magic. Have you heard of sarcasm, Nick? That's the way most magicians feel, but I'm telling you, it's worth the work. You gotta put in the pumpitude to get the finger pumped up. Then you can do the pinky count. All right, y'all, let me stop talking for a minute. We're gonna work our way over to the Murphy's, not Murphy's. We're gonna go to Trick Supply here and look at the demo for the new hot thing. This is Firefly, the new release from the Murphy's production house by Titanus. Essentially a light gimmick. I'll talk more about it in a minute. Let's take a look at Javier doing the thing right now. Check out, we can do this. Check out Firefly.
Let me show you Firefly with empty hands. Now I should mention, you don't have to wear a wedding ring. It's not really a part of the trick. But from nowhere, you can have a light appear right in between the palms of your hand. You can see how bright that is, yet whenever you want, you have that light completely vanish, leaving you once again with empty hands. And that is Firefly. It starts with a touch, nothing more. But in that moment, light obeys. Silent, instant, seamless. You don't just control it, you command it. Welcome to Firefly. Firefly by Titanus is a revolutionary new electronic device that allows you to produce lights in your bare hands. Built from the ground up, Firefly introduces Ghost Touch technology, which makes the activation so silent that only you know you've activated it. No thumb tips, no gimmicky rings, no switches. Just pure control. Use it on its own or amplify the magic you already have. Perform hundreds of times on a single charge and multiple modes for total control, or just set it and go. Firefly by Titanis is the ultimate evolution of light magic. This is the power of Firefly.
Yeah, baby. Control light. So let me say this. If any of those effects appeal to you, well, guess what? You'll love Firefly. This gimmick easily does everything that you've seen on that trailer. And I've played with it for, I don't know, a couple hours. I watched the 3-hour tutorial that came with it. It's quite extensive. Essentially, it's a small gimmick that hides in your hands. I'm hiding it now. Let's get our cap subtlety right. The gimmick does include other gimmicks that allow you to conceal it on the back of your fingers, on the back of your thumb. You can use it with a reel, and there are different ways to attach and remove the device from your body or your hands. I kind of like just finger palming the thing. I think it's comfortable enough to hold in a palm. Here's the light effect, lighting up a bottle of water. You can do any kind of object that is like I did the crystal ball. If you follow us on shorts, I had the crystal ball light up. It is a little bright in the magic shop to do some of these light effects, but here we're triggering. I want to call out Murphy's on their false advertising. They say no switches in the device, but that's not true. Let me just do a little light exposure and talk about the device. There's 2 switches on it. One switch turns it on and off. And the other switch, and let me switch to another mode, activates one of 3 modes. And the mode that I've been using makes a light slowly appear and then slowly fade. It's a 1-button push. So I push 1 button, everything's timed. The light slowly comes on and the light slowly comes off. But if you wanted the light to instantly come on like this, you can do that as well. So this is an instant push button setting. And maybe for this, you want to make some dramatic lighting in your show. Whoa! Whoa! I don't think that was in the trailer, but I think a moment like that could be fun. How about a little dramatic lighting to make the effect stronger? Any moment in your magic routines where you're affecting a transformation, I think could be effective with this. And they talk about a few ways. I'm going to switch it to the low setting here. So say you do a double lift, you put the double lift in your card, you activate your thing. Let's see and now in your hand, as the card is there, the light comes on and then the light slowly dims. And with that, the object has been transformed. Any transformation, card trick, or I'll tell you the one they recommended. And really, for me, this is kind of the trick of the week. I mean, this is great. You know, if you want to make light appear, get Firefly. You'll love it. Let me talk about the trick that they mentioned. Here it is. As a great piece to use with the Firefly, and wow, the Ox Bender by, let me get this name right, Minnie Lindenfeld. I've heard a couple people talk about this. Local busker extraordinaire, Winston Pannier, he uses this on his busking show. He loves the thing. But when I was watching the tutorial on the Firefly, Javier mentions that he actually uses the light with the smoke gimmick, with the universal smoke watch. But all of it is backed by the Ox Bender. Now, I've done this thing about 3 or 4 times. Like, I've only handled it a couple of times. It's not in my repertoire. So this will give you some idea of the effectiveness of the gimmick and what can be done with it. Let me see. We'll just do it from this camera. So you borrow a coin from a spectator. And the way I did this, I practiced it on my wife. I took the top off and I handed her the marker to sign the coin. So I'm just going to put a little. And then I handed her back the cap of the marker to put on the marker as I reclaim the coin. Now, there's the coin, right? That's the one we just signed. I'm going to place it in here and one-handed, just that fast. Look what the Ox Bender does. Bang. It bends that sucker. One-handed. I'm not going to expose the gimmick, but know that I've only used it a couple of times. And while it does it this quickly, when you perform the ox bender, you want to make this moment, you want to milk it. You could do a couple of things. Let me put this in my pocket. You could put it in a spectator's hand so they don't know it's bent yet. You say, squeeze the coin, and now the bend happens in the spectator's hands. Or there's also some ways to hold the coin and then imply that the spectator sees it bend, right before their eyes. And I am not a sexpert or even an expert in these kind of things, but I will be before long, because guess what? The ox bender is going in my working repertoire. I can't imagine a much stronger moment than borrowing a quarter, having someone sign it, and then it bends in their hand. Come on now, that's freak out stuff. But this is going to get my highest recommendation this week, and this is definitely getting a high recommendation, although I think I really should give the Gallo book my highest recommendation. But here's a couple props for your consideration. They're certainly being considered by me. I've got one more new trick to talk about, but as always, I encourage the chat. If you have any questions, comments, constructive criticism, I'm eyeballing the chat here and would be happy to answer any questions you might have about anything we're talking about today. Yeah, Ron, that's the stuff. If you watch the tutorial, you'll see how they do light and smoke. And really, that's just like you're making an alien appear out of your hands. It's like almost too perfect. So I think it could replicate a camera flash, and some of the effects that they use integrate the flashlight on the cell phone to good effect. For example, one of them is this. You borrow someone's cell phone. It's not turned on, but just by concentrating, their flashlight turns on. You can make it look like it turns on a number of ways, but this would be an example of how the flashlight is integrated into a cell phone effect. In my professional opinion, how does Firefly look for the worker? I think it's great. I don't see anyone being upset about this purchase. If you think you can use it in your act, you probably will use it. It holds a charge. It's bright in a working environment. It's flexible with multiple settings. The tutorial is extensive and gives you a lot of ideas to get you off to the races. You will have more ideas. I showed you a couple I had in the first day, the crystal ball lighting up, the dramatic lighting with the face. I'm sure you'll be able to think of some of your own. So yeah. It would be good to change a card or anything. I always like to have people think outside of the box for card tricks. Maybe we can do more killer diller stuff. Oh man, I skipped over these things. I'm going to talk about a couple other things before I get to one more new product, and then we're going to take a look at the Bitfrost Blade to wrap this stream up. As I was talking about the books earlier, oh look, they printed this one upside down. Let's see if I can fix that. There we go. So as I was talking about the books earlier, I didn't get to mention these products, and this is maybe more appealing to a modern student, someone that is drawn more towards videos than, say, some of the book learning. These are Murphy's Magic releases from their production house. These instructional kits contain the props that you'll need to learn the magic. In this one, there's no real gimmicks. And in this one, there's no real gimmicks. They're just giving you the props that you need. In this case, it's a rope with a ring. And then you'll get an instructional link that contains several. Did I just blast that out? Let's pretend I didn't. You'll get several tutorials from some of the masters of magic. And this one contains 5 or 6 different magicians explaining ring and rope routines. Now, this is the one that we got on the shelf this week that really made me go, hey, Murphy's, you're doing this right. And look at this. Like, let me rewind back to when I was learning from David Roth. How old was I? Maybe 15 years old when I first saw the Stars of Magic VHS tapes from Cannon's Magic Shop. And on those VHS tapes, David Roth teaches us how to be an expert coin magician. But he makes it easy. Expert coin magic made easy. And the video link, which is on this side, we're not going to show it. Contains the first 3 volumes of David Roth's Expert Coin Magic Made Easy videos. And then look what you get here. You get some wonderful reproductions, including some Walking Liberties, 4 of those, and then also 4 Morgan replicas. This whole package, the 3-volume video, the 4 coins, and the other 4 coins, it's only $40 for all of it. Now, in 1985, when I was a teenager, just to get 1 VHS tape of David Roth teaching coin magic was $89. That was in the 80s. So to have this material accessible with the props that you need in all 3 volumes for $40, I think the word is no-brainer. So if you haven't started your journey to coin magic, and I'll tell you what I think, I'll do a little bit for you. I think competence with a single coin is one of the most valuable things a magician can know. It's always possible to find a coin out in the wild, right? You might not be able to find rope or cups and balls or even cards, but you can always find a coin. And if you can find a coin, well, then you're ready to perform a little magic for your audience. Let's see if I'm ready to do some for you this afternoon live from Las Vegas. Step 1 is to warm up the coin with a little friction. This softens the metal, weakening the silver. Oh, there we go. There we go. Maybe just a little bit more. From here, once you soften the coin, if you know how, and I do, you can squeeze the coin until it's completely naked to the invisible eye. Completely naked to the invisible eye. Small joke, rarely laughed at. Snap of the fingers, it comes right back. And hey, if you keep the coin hot, you can keep it working. Watch, it'll go like this, right up the sleeve. And sometimes it'll go like this, down the sleeve. Pardon me. A little too far. It goes down, it goes up, it comes back. And this is me advocating to you to get busy with your 1 coin manipulation. And if you need a good learning resource, well, you've got my recommendation today. David Roth's Expert Coin Magic Made Easy. You'll find this set at tricksupply.com. I've managed to link most of the things I'm talking about in the description of the video. So if you're looking for Firefly or 52 Farewells, or maybe you're looking for the latest hot new release, Tongue-Tied by Mario Lopez. We have that in the shop as well. This arrived yesterday with all the beautiful books from Penguin Magic. If you haven't seen Tongue-Tied, where you been? This is Mario Lopez. I'll just briefly describe this effect, as we're already like about at 30 minutes. You know, I like to do these things for about 30 minutes. The Tongue-Tied is this. You take a balloon, show the balloon, you blow it up, and when you pull it out of your mouth, it's instantly tied. So it's a hands-off, instant tying of the balloon. If you want to see it done, I'm going to encourage you to jump on the social media and look at some of your favorite magicians. Everyone seems to be performing this trick. And of course, on tricksupply.com, we have a demo of the full thing waiting for you there. Mike's telling you, can't find a washer? Get a rock. Or if you're on the beach, get a seashell. You can find a rock. We can always do magic when we have the basic skill sets that we learn with single coin manipulation, finger palm, coin palm, false placement, reproduction. You know, these are the core skills that we need to be good. And if you learn to routine a few of these things together, well, then you'd be happy to do some magic anywhere, anytime. Wedding ring's a great answer. Nick knows. Although for many of us, finding a wife might be the real challenge. Congratulations on being one of the chosen ones. We get lucky sometimes and we find our weirdos that will put up with our shenanigans. All right, y'all, here it is. The Big Ma Moo, the finale du jour. So let me just rewind a little bit here. This company, Retro Rocketeer, sent me a little email to review one of their products, which I did last night, actually, and maybe next week I'll be talking about the Master of Chance 2.0. This is a variation of a Lubor Fiedler effect. Lubor Fiedler, again, popping up. How many times have we talked about Lubor Fiedler? This is not Lubor Fiedler. This effect, many of you will relate to some classic Tenyo maybe. And when you guys see this thing, I know a lot of you are going to think Crystal Cleaver. And the effect of this Bitfrost Blade is similar to the Crystal Cleaver, and that effect is one that even predates the Tenyo release. If you're not familiar with Tenyo, let me enlighten you a little bit. They produce plastic magic tricks, and I don't know how many times I've heard magicians say, boy, I wish Tenyo produced a nice wooden version of the Crystal Cleaver. Well, they didn't, but here comes Anthony Yap from Retro Rocketeers producing this wonderful, it's part wood, like this part I think is wood, but I think this part is 3D printed. So some of it is printed, so this would be a plastic or a resin, and some of it is wood. It's a combination of the two. It all looks wood. It all looks great. That's the production process, plastic and wood. So yeah, Crystal Cleaver, Tenyo release. The effect of a ring and a sword does predate Tenyo. I wish I had the exact reference. I didn't write it down, but Anthony does cover all of that information on the Bitfrost Blade tutorial, which rings in at about 50 minutes. There's a lot of information that goes into this prop. He gives you some different ways to present the thing, as well as the history and a lot of handling tips as well. And I could talk about it all day, or we could just do the thing. And let me show it to you in action now. Ladies and germs, for your entertainment pleasure, the Bitfrost Blade. Boy, you think Tenyo's expensive? So yeah, but wait, I'm about to fool everyone that knows the Tenyo. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, so here we go. This is the ring holder. This is the base. Hold on, we'll do it this way. The base of mystery. Ooh. The ring holder goes onto the base, and the ring goes into the holder. You can actually have your spectator do this, and you can have all of these props examined. Like everything can be checked out before you do the trick. The tube, nothing here, nothing to see inside. It goes over the ring casket, and the last piece we'll need, the Bitfrost Blade itself. Note the blade, solid, I don't know if it's steel, maybe it's platinum. Maybe it's infused by alien DNA. We're not sure. But I'm sure of this. It starts at the top, not at the bottom where the ring is, but the top of the tube. Now watch close as it makes its journey from the top. Let's go to the bottom. That would mean to go from here to here, it would have to pass through the top of the box and through that solid metal ring. I'm guessing this ring could be borrowed. Haven't tried it that way. But again, at this point, everything is examinable, including this part. And if you're familiar with Crystal Cleaver, I'm about to blow your mind. This base, this piece here, it has no moving parts. I'll say it again. This base has no moving parts. This is the mystery of the Bitfrost Blade. Retro Rocketeers, thanks for making amazing magic props. And thank you everyone for your kind attention as we delve into the blade. Nick's calling me out on the, let me make sure I got it right. Does that say the Bitfrost Blade? I will note that the production line from Retro does have Celtic, Nordic, and je ne sais quoi lineage. So most of the products that they produce, I'll give you an example of another piece. And this might be just a little bit anticlimactic after doing the Bitfrost Blade. But this is another good piece, and you'll see kind of I can't do it because I bent my quarter. This is their production of the Tenyo effect. I think it's called the Infinity Zone or Zone Infinity. And this is a penetration of a key through a quarter. The quarter goes in the tray, and then the key penetrates through the coin, which is inside the tunnel. So you'll see how the design of the prop does reflect some older technology. Anyway, I think I could easily recommend anything by this company. And if you need some of that in your life, go to tricksupply.com, look up the Retro Rocketeer. We have a product category with all the things we have in stock. And I'm going to look forward to getting as much of their stuff in here as I can. I am simply obsessed. All right, folks, I think we did it. It's a little bit 11:38-ish. It sounds like we did a show today. If I can help you further, you can always find me at sales@tricksupply.com. Send me a little email. I'll get back to you. Hit me up on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm there every day. Happy to answer you there as well. The phone is working. So if you call Trick Supply, I'm the guy answering the phone over here now. So give me a ring if you need to, have some product support, ask a question, make an order, things like that. If you want to just call and talk business, well, I might have to go to work. We don't know. All right. I think that sounds like good. We'll stick a feather in it and call it macaroni. And with that, we're going to call this live stream fini. I think what we're looking for is the end sign. Let me say thank you all for taking a little time to hang out with me today live from Trick Supply in Las Vegas. If you need to see more of me, well, I'm going to be in this building till 6 o'clock. Come see me. I'll wait here, or I'll see you online at tricksupply.com. Thanks again, y'all. It's been a jam, and I will see you next time. Au revoir.